and you're making it look easy. Now the fact is, it became easy because you made so many mistakes, you know what not to do. You can start small, and that's what I did. I started helping people in different parts of the business, added value to each of those people, and I learned my skills that way. So it's really not hard. You just have to not overthink, and you just need to act. To get one deal, you'll probably have to call 1,000 people. I'm being serious, 1,000 people. Now you would think, man, that's a lot of people. Well, if you do 100 a day, and in a day it would take you maybe 2, 3, 4 hours to do it, then you'll be fine. If you do 25 a day, maybe it takes you an hour. Well, go ahead, and it's gonna take you a month to get a deal, maybe 2 months. Most people, based off of how much energy they put into the business, it takes them roughly 7 to 9 months to get their first wholesale deal. A real estate agent usually takes 7 to 9 months to sell their first home. So if you're quitting or you're not putting in the volume to get the result, you're never gonna get it. And this is not to say anything about you. It's about literally the work it takes to get it. The average is 7 to 9 months if you're putting in work, right? If you're just showing up and not doing much for 7 to 9 months, you're not gonna get it. Showing up is a part of it, but you putting in the work is the other part. Do both, and you'll eventually get something done. Then a lot of times things will not work out. When things don't work out, find out why. Ask why. Don't be like, oh, because they're a bad buyer, or they're a bad seller, or something else. You can't change anybody else. So if that's what we think, you can't learn, you can't grow. So I would always say, how could I have done that differently, right? With this type of crazy buyer or crazy seller, what could I have done differently to get this deal? And I'll listen to people that were in the game a long time that are successful. And they're like, well, you could have tried this, you could try that, you could do whatever. And then eventually just try them. And from your trying, from all those times you fall, you make mistakes, whatever, you learn each time something which builds your skills. So eventually you can be closing more and more deals, and you're making it look easy. Now the fact is, it became easy because you made so many mistakes, you know what not to do. And that's a big part with any skill. Try a lot, make mistakes, figure out what doesn't work, don't do that anymore, and focus on what does work. And that's just the winning formula with almost anything that you're doing.
Okay, someone here has a question in regards to...
On YouTube?
Yes, real estate. Should you partner with others when you're wanting to invest in possible rental properties, whether it be long-term or short-term? If you're a beginner, is it just better to partner?
So when you're buying a property or when you're partnering with someone, who you pick to work with is very important. You can't just pick anybody, and you can't just pick any property and think you're gonna win. So if you pick a good property, you're gonna do well. If you pick a good partner, you're gonna do well. It's better to be with a good partner and a bad property because you can make things better. But if you're with a bad partner and a good property, they're probably gonna make things worse. So the answer is yes, you can partner with someone. And it's encouraged to partner with smart people that have success. So you can benefit from their knowledge and experience, and you can bring some value that you can offer. In that way, you'll have a better probability of winning, and you can diversify your risk. Because if you're buying a single unit or duplex with your money, and you can partner with someone else, and you can end up getting a fourplex or larger, you just diversified your risk. Now, I actually have a syndication. So we have 10, 20, 30 people put their money together, we raise millions of dollars, and we buy multiple properties within this pool. So now you own a percentage of the pool, so you get a very diversified portfolio of real estate that's gonna reduce your risk. Because now you have more doors, so even if one's empty, it doesn't matter, you have the rest paying rent. So you can float the difference. So I do like investing in syndications as a good way to diversify your risk.
And then in regards to NFTs, and where, I guess, did you respond to how someone gets started in it?
Yeah, I mean, you literally just go to say NFTs or VV, you set up an account just as if you're gonna set up a IG account. You create your username and your password, you put your credit card on there, you transfer money in, and that's it. Your money's there. Now you just go and try to buy something when it drops, or you can buy something that someone else owns. Hold it, resell it. You can do a lot of different things with this. So you have a lot of options. So you can basically flip NFTs, buy them as they drop and sell them immediately to get a quick profit, or you can invest in NFTs where you buy them, hold them long term because you think in a year, 2 years, 5, 10 years are gonna be worth a lot of money. And that's what I think. I bought a lot of edition 1 comic books because I think long term they're gonna be worth a lot more, and also I like them, so you know.
Someone said here, on paper it's a good idea to partner and make sure everything is written with agreements beforehand. However, in execution it could be a living nightmare.
True, I mentioned that at the very beginning, that if you buy a bad deal, it's gonna be bad. And if you have a bad partner, it's gonna be bad. So this is the point. You have to know the first thing is that the person you're working with is ethical. So Warren Buffett says this, there's 3 things you need to know or need to have in a partner or employee. 1, ethics. 2, hard work. And 3, brains. If you have the last 2, but you don't have the first, you're gonna have a problem because they're gonna be smart and they're gonna be fast, but they're not gonna be ethical. So you're gonna be constantly trying to fight to make sure they don't do something wrong. So it's really important that you try to have a partner that has all 3, but it's extremely important that your partner has ethics, right? He's not gonna cheat you. So yes. And it doesn't matter how great your contract is. Doesn't matter, because a person that wants to cheat you will try to find a way to cheat you. So you don't wanna have an awesome contract because someone that wants to cheat you. If it's good enough, they're gonna just cheat you anyway and leave the country. Or they're gonna cheat you below the money and they say, okay, sue me, I don't have anything. What are you gonna do, you know? Again, in business, if someone cheats you, they don't really go to jail. You just sue them, end up blowing a ton of money on lawyers, and at the end, they don't have anything, so you can't get much out of them. So unless it's like extremely blatant type of fraud, then you can, you know, try to get them in trouble, but most of the time the punishment's not that bad. So point is, find good people to work with.
And how do you do that? How can you find good people to work with? Like what's a common place, or perhaps something that you've learned like according to someone's character? How do you determine, does it take time, or you know, what's a trigger for you where you're like, oh, this is a red flag?
So 1, it does take time if you don't know them. 2, you can get referrals. So if you get a referral from someone that you know is ethical, that says they are ethical, then you have that comfort level. So referrals or time. And when you see them and you see how they act, how they treat people in small ways, it's a dead giveaway how they are on the big things.